Good morning. This announcement is for those on the live stream. If you are joining the meeting via live stream and you are an official member of First Baptist Church, please put your name in the chat so that we can count you in the quorum. We will also monitor the chat so that if you have questions, they can be asked.
We have a quorum, so we're going to begin the meeting. Just so I guess it's not really snowing out, so we can't use that as an excuse to have a short meeting, but it would be nice. Anyway, I'm the clerk of the church, I'm Marcia Carter, and David Parry is not available this morning, so he has asked Melinda to be acting moderator.
Thank you. It is always good to ask God's blessing before we begin on anything. So I'm going to ask Doug to come and open the meeting with prayer.
Lord, thank you for the body of Christ, and thank you for the participation of each person here. Lord, we invite you to lead us, give us your wisdom, understanding, help us to listen well to each other. Help us to be quick to listen and slow to speak, and slow to become angry. In your name, Jesus, amen.
Okay, just a quick note, this is on live stream, so it will be seen by the public, but we're going to make it private after. And if nobody joins us via live stream within the next few minutes, we're going to turn that off. So as of now. Oh, okay. But we need to keep the recording going. We have one person on. May I ask who? Okay, so we don't know if it's, okay. All right, so Article 1, to receive the minutes of the September 21st, 2025 quarterly business meeting. So you have a copy in your pile. Please review them, and then I will accept a motion to approve. It's been moved to approve the minutes of the September business meeting. Is there a second? Is there any discussion, any corrections or omissions? Hearing none, would all, oh, I'm sorry, Marcia. Hearing none, would all those in favor please signify by raising their right hand? Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. Okay.
And so we ought to approve those minutes.
We also need to approve the minutes of the special business meeting held on November 9th, 2025. You have a copy of those minutes also in your packet. Please review them briefly, and then I will accept a motion to approve these minutes. Is there a second? Yes, sir. Any discussion? Any corrections or omissions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by the raising of your right hand. Are there any in opposition or any abstentions? Motion passes unanimously. Article 2 is to receive the reports of the church officers, church councils, deacons, teams, task forces, and the church staff. Is there a report from the clerk?
No.
Is there a clerk from the treasurer other than related to the later articles? No. Do you have a report other than the budget? No, okay. The moderator has no report. Okay. Church council, is there a report from the church council? I did not receive one. Okay. The deacons, I will put on my deacon's hat for a moment. The deacons have approved new members, and we've been very excited to receive 5 new members and included 1 baptism since the last business meeting. So that's a very happy thing. We are feeling very refreshed with our additional member deacons and having some extra hands to do the work. And we hope to get some more visitation in soon. So, any questions for the deacons? All right. Do any teams or task forces have a report for the church?
I have a brief update on the collector. Pledge income right now, we're running a minus $2,200 for budget, with a difference of $8,800 for year end.
Okay.
That's as of December 1st.
So per the collector, we are running $2,200 behind in collections and $8,800 for the year's end.
Year end, correct. And for non-pledge, we're currently running $31,000 ahead.
And for non-pledged income, we are currently running $31,000 ahead of what we budgeted.
Which is good.
3,100 or 31,000?
31,000.
31.
31,402.
$31,402 ahead.
And the only other thing is the mission. We're currently running plus $500
Okay, so for the missions budget, we are $500 ahead of where we had budgeted for the year end. So, wow. Okay. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, everybody that has pledged and contributed to the Lord's work in Wakefield.
Are there any questions for the collector, including from online? Okay, thank you. Do any other teams or task forces have a report? For the, okay, yeah, we'll get to staff in a minute. Okay. All right, and now we will hear reports from the church staff. So we have Doug, Eliana, Steve.
I'll be very brief. I just want to report on this fall, we had extended an offer to Tessa Tropiana to serve as a ministry intern with a focus on music and worship for 10 weeks. And I've been super happy with the work that she's done. And to me, what has really stood out is just the engagement of the congregation in response to her leadership. And again, I thank you for all the music team for doing that, but I think Tessa has really brought some energy and life to that. So she will be done on Christmas Eve, will be her last activity with us. And the council at our last meeting, we have extended an offer to her for another 10-week internship that would begin the beginning of January. That would be around January 4th or so. And Tessa's in the process of kind of discerning what her next life steps will be, so be in prayer for her. We really hope that she would receive that, and the plan would be that then at the February business meeting, we would be able to have a vote to see if, on our end, we would want to make that an offer as a part-time music director that's, I say permanent, but again, like a permanent staff position. And then again, for her, if she's accepted the internship, to discern whether that's what she wants to do. So again, we really appreciate that and believe she's been a godsend to us. So we're very thankful for that. Yes, Brian. Yeah, very dynamic. Yep, sounds good. Okay, that's my report. And then I'll have more about the budgets.
Okay, thank you. If there are no questions for Doug, do any other church staff have a report? Oh, I'll put my church staff hat on and give you my report. So yes, the youth group, working with the youth. So I've been meeting with one high school girl consistently, and that's been going well. We've been doing a Bible study on the life of Jesus. And that she has been participating in some of the Judson youth events as well. The middle school boys youth group has met 3 times with somewhat inconsistent attendance, but has held their meetings. So we are going to be looking at some new things to do. 2 of the boys did go to one Judson event, and we're hoping that they will be involved with the Judson youth events going forward. They will at least be invited. So we're also considering a parents' meeting for that group. So are there any questions on the youth program? We also have coming up, as far as the Creativity Lab goes, In the Middle is coming up, which is our work with WCAT to, and I have flyers here for, here we go. Our work with WCAT to produce a television show. We have 2 students signed up so far. We're hoping to get several more. So we're kicking promotion into high gear. And that will, once again, be something that happens both here and at WCAT. And we'll have a cast party at the end, which we hope that some of you will be involved with. Are there any questions on the program? So they're on YouTube. They're just called In the Middle Season 1 and In the Middle Season 2. Yep. And they're posted by WCAT on their YouTube channel. there are no further reports, we can move on. All right. Article 3 is to act upon a recommendation of the Church Council for the 2026 current expense budget. So the Council's recommended budget is in your packet. If you'd like to review it, and let us know if you have any questions or if there's anyone who'd like to speak to the budget.
So again, hopefully that was helpful to you, getting that in advance, to be able to look through it. We'll try to make sure we're always doing that as much as possible for these meetings. I just want to highlight a couple things and then of course be available for any questions. Our budget plan for 2025, we planned on it being, in one sense, a deficit budget, meaning our giving from our congregation would be less than the total expenditures, but we have other sources of income that fill in that gap. So the two sources of income is, one, we had a fund that was put aside from the insurance money from the fire. The council put aside roughly $350,000 back 4 or 5 years ago as a grow into the building fund. And so last year we had kind of laid out a plan for how we would tap into that fund to make up the shortfall. We also have a trust fund that has been designated as pastoral salary, so if the church is unable to be in the black, that we can draw from that. So last year's budget, if you see at the top of your page here, it had, in terms of our annual budget, we were anticipating that we would draw $40,000 from that trust fund and $87,272 from the UBS income fund. That's that, I'll call it a subsidy fund. Year to date, we've only tapped into the UBS fund for $25,000. We've not touched the pastoral contingency, but I anticipate this month we'll need to move more from that contingency fund. The big hitter is our church insurance that is paid in advance in one lump sum. So that's about $17,000 on that. So I don't know if 35 is the exact number, but I'm anticipating that we will draw maybe a total of 60 from that UBS account when all is said and done for just 2025. But that is less than we anticipated. The good news, again, we would not have touched the pastoral contingency fund, and that's $27,000 less than we thought we would have to do that. So that's all, again, really good news. As we look at this year, we would anticipate in the budget that we would draw from the UBS account $65,000, and the current balance in that account is $402,849. So it actually has grown, even though we've tapped into it $25,000 this year. Because of interest and stuff, it has actually grown. So it's bigger than we were at this time last year, which is, again, good news. And in some ways, that number is like a rounding number. Whatever we need to meet, that's the number, but anticipating around $65,000 in order to make this budget work. And again, not touching the pastoral contingency fund. So that's at part of how this budget works. If you're wondering, wait a minute, if we're only bringing in between our pledge income and our donation non-pledge, 94 and 79, how does that all work? We subsidize with the UBS account. I should have had a nice graph there like Phil did a month ago. You had a nice bar graph. I should have had that bar graph up there, but that's my fault. So just to highlight a couple things in the proposed 2026 budget is we have budgeted for a part-time music person, which we did last year, but we never tapped into it because we didn't hire one. We hired Tessa as an intern, which we also had money for as ministry interns. Historically, we've had 2 different interns from Gordon Conwell Seminary that have used that. In the 2026 budget, we have money for internships as well as a part-time music director. How that all gets put together, still to be determined, but we wanted to have as much flexibility as possible in that. The other item in here that's a little more flexible is, in the past we had a custodian. We've been paying a cleaning service because we don't have a custodian. And we anticipate that if we would hire a part-time custodian, that we may still use a cleaning service maybe once a month, maybe once a quarter for like a deep clean, and the custodian is kind of more of the week to week. So there's money in there both for custodian and for cleaning. Again, how that all plays out still determined as we go along. Yes, Brian. Yes, Ken retired last, I want to say like maybe March, April, May, somewhere in there. Yes, so he retired. We were paying him the beginning of last year as well as a cleaning service. When he retired, we upped the cleaning service to come in every week. Does a pretty thorough clean. And then when groups use the church, we have them pay someone directly as a host, and the host is generally responsible to open the building, close the building, tidy up a little bit afterwards. So, but that gets paid for directly by the group that's renting the facility. Yes. Yeah, that's a good question. So I think at this point the council would determine if there's a person we want to hire. If we are hiring, I don't know about custodian, but like a more permanent, like the part-time music, that would also come to the congregation. I'm not sure if we probably would do that for the custodian as well.
For the full time.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sean, I really appreciate the work you do every Sunday. You're here early and setting up, shoveling and stuff like that, which is great. It really is very, very helpful. Other questions about the budget? Yeah. Yes. Yep. And I feel like the budget is still trying to be aggressive because we do need to grow. Because at some point, the subsidy money does run out. Now, we're doing great. We're using it at a lot slower pace. But we want to get to a point where our income, our contributions cover the costs of our expenses. So we need to grow in order for that to happen. All right. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the 2026. But you can, I'm taking your job there. If you'd like to do that.
It's okay. Yes, what he said. Did somebody move it? Oh, thank you. Any questions for Doug or any questions in general, including from the AV room and the people online?
Just see if anybody's texted or anything. Yep.
I don't know if it's the right place or time, I'm not sure, but I spoke with Doug about maybe doing a youth recovery program here that's very much what facilitate. I don't think it would cost the church any money besides the fact that the reading cards and they give tokens out like 24 hours, 6 months, 1 year, and stuff that it's just low cost. You can buy that stuff over at Charlestown.
Right.
They have a store that specifically sells that kind of stuff.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. We're going to stick to the budget conversation right now. We can bring that up later under other business, or it can go through the council. Okay.
Great.
If there are no questions, then all those in favor of accepting the current budget, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay. Article 4, to act upon the recommendation of the Church Council for the 2026 mission budget, which is also in your packet and was sent ahead.
Okay, so this is, the missions is a little bit different than the current expense budget in that money that comes in, the idea is that that money will also go out. So it's kind of more of a pass-through, but you have to come up with some number. And so these numbers, the budget of 19.3 is based on kind of year-to-date giving and anticipation of growth as well. And what the council has sought to do here is kind of provide denominational support. And so the top part here, you see ABC USA, that's American Baptist Churches of the United States of America, a total of $9,000 going there to 3 different funds, and a shift that is more specific to, I guess I would call frontline missions. I don't know if that's exactly the word, but giving to international ministries and Baptist home missions, and reducing United Missions Basics, which is more of a little more administrative, or it's overarching fund, and 2/3 of that goes back to the district. So we're sort of reallocating and to be more specific towards overseas missions with the international ministries, and then U.S. missions with the Baptist home missions. And then the specifics under the other part, $10,300, is trying to give to specific individuals and missionaries that there's some connection with the church. So Karen Smith, for example, is an American Baptist missionary. I believe she has spoken at this church in the past. There's been some connection there. She's, I think, the regional director for Africa for ABC. Chris Coble was our first intern who has been serving in India and is actually getting married in April. So we're very excited for that. And if you would like to get Chris's newsletters, I can send you the link to that, because he works in a very closed environment, that country, a country will not be named on the YouTube. You got to be very careful with how you disseminate information on that. Jake and Kara Whetstone. Kara's our daughter. They've been here. They've spoken at the church here. They're serving in Spain, working among immigrants from North Africa and other parts of the world. And then Diane Smith is someone we had just a recent connection with. Judy Manola plays with Diane in a local band. And Diane is leaving her position with, I believe it might be Lawrence, the hospital in Lawrence, to go be a physician in Liberia. So Diane is young, I'd say early 30s perhaps, and she's saying, I'm going to go serve women in Liberia in a very challenging environment. So Diane actually will be here on January 4th to be able to share some of her ministry. And I've asked Chris for an updated video, and Kara and Jakin as well, although we might see them at some point in a service here. Then the rest of that are all ministries that are more local or broader than that we've supported in the past. And one of the changes in this budget is that we've said we're only going to support things at least $500. We're not going to do something that's just a token $100 here that's like a placeholder. We want to support that, and we still have money to support a whole group of ministries that are there. So, so that's the missions budget. And are there questions about that? And again, we give to this separately. So if you're on whether it's an envelope or a check, if you want money to go towards missions, you need to designate missions. And that money will go into this fund, and then that will be distributed throughout the year as the money has come in.
So if you use a pledge envelope, you have the option of writing current expense and missions on there. If you send it using a plain envelope, you can just write for current expense, for missions, and the amounts. And the money will get to the right place. Right. If there are no questions, I will accept a motion to accept the missions budget as presented. It's been moved and seconded to accept the missions budget for 2026 as presented. Officially, are there any discussion? Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Did anyone vote in the back room? Okay, thank you. Motion passes. All right. To act upon a recommendation, this is Article 5, to act upon a recommendation of the Church Council to modify the church bylaws to accommodate 2 business meetings, June and November, December, plus the annual business meeting in February. So that would eliminate 1 quarterly business meeting per year. So we would have 2, I don't think you'd call them quarterly, I don't know what you'd call them, but anyway, and the annual meeting. And because this is a change to the bylaws, a 2/3 vote of the congregation is required. Do we have to do secret ballot for that? No, good. Okay. Does anyone want to speak to this motion, to this article?
Since I'm the church clerk, I will speak to the meeting, to the issue. One of the issues is presently the annual meeting is held in May. And when we have our annual meeting, it's always on the year previous. So this coming, the way it's scheduled now, this coming May of 2026, we would be dealing with or reporting on issues for 2025. By the time we get to May, everybody's forgotten about 2025 anyway. So, and when that schedule was developed, it was prior to all of the electronic reporting for the trustees' funds. So it really impacts my position more than probably most others. So it was very difficult to develop a schedule for where all the dividends for all the funds go. Now it's much easier because we usually get them sometime the end of January, beginning of February, and everything is basically done electronically anyway. I have it on my computer, so it makes the distribution a lot easier. So this is really being done, although we've thought about it, I think, for a number of years. It's being done at my request.
And the reduction in the number of meetings from 4 to 3, what was the,
Well, we haven't decided on the dates, but that's why the motion reads as it is. It will either be, meeting will be in June, the next meeting will be November, December, and the annual business meeting will be in February.
right, so instead of 4 meetings, we'll be having 3, and the reason is just practical, I guess, just because 4 just seemed like a lot of meetings. So, I will accept a motion to this effect, please. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or any questions? Okay. All right. Hearing none, again, this is to be a 2/3 vote of those present and voting, so please keep your hand in the air for a minute while we count. And all those in favor, please raise your right hand. I got 15 plus you, so 16. All right, so 16. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. We certainly got our 2/3. All right. Is there any other business that may properly come before the meeting? There is a request for an update on what's happening with the shed or garage. Would you use the microphone?
So if you notice, they can't see it with the snow on it, but when we finally get the roof on, we ordered the door and the windows. Those are long lead time items, so I was told 4 to 6 weeks for the arrival and the work will start to get done. So if it happens sooner, we'll start next year.
Okay, so the roof has been put on, And the doors and windows have been ordered, and should come in within 4 to 6 weeks of the time that they were ordered. And they may get here sooner, but the work will be done when they arrive. And then it will be sided. And it will be sided. Any other business? Oh. Yeah, it's easier because people can.
So as we start having these positions, case in point, I saw there was a job description for Tessa. So we're talking about other functions. The one thing that came out that kind of is close to me is we're looking at the cleaning of the church and a potential custodian. I think we need to have an HR kind of function, and I hate to do this because as we grow, but I think it probably helps us in the long run, which each one would have a definition of who does what. Right now we see some things, everybody's been great. When we see something on the ground, we pick it up. But I'd like to see some kind of more of an organization, so if it's my task, I know to go pick it up and so forth. So something to keep in mind, and hopefully we can find someone that we need someone to take stick on it, so just to put it out there. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe HR considerations are currently handled by the council, but certainly the council could discuss how that could be done and then bring something back here. Yeah, and Stephen oversees the cleaning of the building, the cleaners and so on. So questions on that can go to him. But thank you, Phil. That's a very good point. Any other business for current? If not, I will accept a motion to adjourn. And TA, it doesn't have to be voted, so go ahead. The meeting is adjourned.